This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 16 in the National Football League. Detroit Lions on the road trying to handle some NFC North family business against the Chicago Bears. The Bears. In a matchup that I know it's family business. I know it's a road game. This could easily be a trap game. But if you're the Detroit Lions, if you're looking to win this division, if you're looking to make a statement, here's an opportunity. Bears are dysfunctional right now. Mark Tresman knows his job is on the line. He knows that he's coaching for his life in Chicago as an NFL head coach. And so he's trying any and everything to try to save his job. He's trying to prove that, hey, if I just get the right guy in here, I can make this thing work. So he benches Jay Cutler. Okay, that's a profound statement there. But he puts in Jimmy Clausen. Jimmy Clausen, the same Jimmy Clausen that couldn't make it work in Carolina. The same Jimmy Clausen that is a career 1-9 starter in this league. The same Jimmy Clausen that I thought might have been out of the league in 3 to 4 years to get an opportunity to start. If you're the Lions, you've been a really good defensive team all season long. You've been playing some outstanding football of late. Was not pretty last week. As a matter of fact, somewhat disappointing last week that you were barely able to skate by the Minnesota Vikings at home. But the Vikings are playing their best football of the season. I was willing to bypass that and let it go. I was willing to overlook that. The Vikings, family business, playing good football. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. But this Bears team, I know it's family business. I know it's on the road, but this team is not good. They're not good at all. And so I need you to dispose of these guys much like you did to Tampa Bay, much like you did to this same Bears team on Thanksgiving. I need you to do it again. Okay? I need you to convince me that you're prepared for that Week 17 matchup versus Green Bay in Lambeau, because you're going to need your A game for that one. You can't get away with a C- game. You can't get away with a C+ or a B- game. I need your A game if you're looking to win this division in Lambeau. And so I need you to show me that this is a tune-up for what's to come next week. So you got the 10-4 Detroit Lions heading into the game against the 5-9 Chicago Bears. Take care of business. For the Bears, their perspective is simple. If you're Mark Tresman, you're searching for answers, and you're hoping Jimmy Clausen comes in, plays competent football, is able to upset the Detroit Lions so you can point and say, see, look, what did I tell you? Last year when Jay Cutler was down, I had my best stretch of football with this team with Josh McCown as a quarterback. Now I'm going to sit him down again and prove to you that it's not me. I didn't do this. I didn't make this team 5-10. He did it. He did it. So this is what you're trying to prove by beating the Detroit Lions with Jimmy Clausen at quarterback. So off to Soldier Field we go. Reginald Bush. Good to see him back, because as much as we try to downplay his role in this offense, and because he's always injured, especially this year, the past couple of years he stayed relatively healthy. Last year, 1,000-yard rushing was huge for this team. Year before that, he was in Miami, gained 1,000 yards there. So he's been pretty durable over the last 3 years or so. This year, not so much. He went back to the injured Reginald Bush. But when he's in the lineup, he's a difference maker. And no drive in the game was more telling of how big of a factor he is to this offense than right here. Reginald Bush with an awesome, he's so awesome, 4th and 5 screen pass. Okay, I'm going to talk about Matthew Stafford. We're going to get to him in a little bit. This was a poor pass. They decided to go for it on 4th and 5. And he throws the screen. Okay, the screen looks like it's getting busted up. The Bears defensively look like they've sniffed it out. And Stafford is just trying to buy time. And finally he says, look, it's 4th down. I can't chuck this into the ground. I need to give Reginald a chance. But he barely gives him a chance. The ball is so low that I would not have been upset. I would have excused Reginald if this ball would have hit his fingers and hit the ground because it was a poorly thrown football. But yet, he scoops it off of his shoe tops, which is an awesome catch. Again, I can't state enough how nice of a catch this was and how tough of a catch it was. He catches it, and in one swoop, one fell, smooth, silky, velvety, smooth motion, he catches it, turns around, gets up the field, and picks up 21 yards on the play as only Reginald Bush can. I don't know if Theo Riddick even makes that play now. Theo has some good hands, makes some outstanding catches. Maybe he catches that pass, but Reginald, he's a one-of-a-kind specimen, makes the play. The very next play, after saving Matthew Stafford's hide with that bad throw on 4th down, keep in mind, that was 4th down. If he doesn't catch that and make the 1st down, it's Bears football. Very next play, he runs for a 13-yard touchdown, does Reginald Bush, gets to the outside somehow, didn't think he was going to be able to make it, dives into the end zone. It's a touchdown. It's 7-0 Detroit. That's what he brings to the table when he's healthy and is able to play. And now you see that he is a guy that could be the X factor between you doing some things in the postseason and you bowing out in wild card weekend. If you have to play a wild card weekend, look, I don't like your chances going into Lambeau, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but if you're able to do some things fall into place, you could get yourself a first-round bye. We'll see. But in any event, you have it's 7-0 lead after the Reginald Bush drive where he really showcases his skills and gives you the lead. That's the end of the first quarter. Lions up 7-0. We go to the second quarter. Bears drive it all the way down to the 2-yard line of the Lions before stalling out, and they actually go for it. Look, you're 5-9. You ain't got nothing to lose. Roll the dice, kiss them, hope it comes up nice. They rolled the dice. Unfortunately, snake eyes. Boop, boop, you got bit. And so you don't pick it up on 4th down, turnover on downs, and then Martellus Bennett, to boot, gets upset at the 4th down situation and didn't like one of the calls that was made or the no call. And he throws a hissy fit, and they throw a 15-yard penalty on him. So instead of the Lions starting at the shadow of their own end zone, and maybe you can get a safety, maybe something bad happens, they started their 17-yard line because of that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So again, when you're a 5-9 team, you do 5-9 things to cause you to lose football games. That's another example of this team losing their composure and giving up an opportunity. Look, okay, so you don't pick it up. You still got the Lions trapped deep in their own territory. Don't give them a 15-yard penalty and allow them to have breathing space. Force them to make some plays and get away from their goal line. You never know what could happen. Bad snap on a punt, bad snap on a handoff or anything. Bad quarterback, center exchange, balls on the ground. You can get a safety. Anything can happen, but you never gave yourself that chance with that penalty. So the Lions drive the football the length of the field, get down there, and Matthew Stafford throws an ill-advised interception in the end zone to rookie Brock Vereen, and that can't happen. And it shouldn't happen, and there's no excuse for that. None whatsoever. You need to come away with something. When you drive that far down the field, you need to... Look, I say this all the time, and I mean it. Touchdowns trump field goals. You can't win games in this league with field goals, generally speaking, okay? Usually that's the case. But as the Texans proved over the Ravens, you can win with 6 field goals if you need to. I mean, it happens, but it's rare. Field goals don't win games, touchdowns do. You know the mantra, you know the motto. But field goals are better than nothing. Field goals are better than nothing. And so you can't turn it over there. If you're Matthew Stafford, you know better. You've been in the league way too long. You can't make these type of boneheaded mistakes. Instead, he forces it in the end zone. What is this, triple coverage? I mean, all I saw was Bears. I didn't even see a Lion receiver. I'm pretty sure it was Calvin Johnson. It's always Calvin Johnson when he does this. When he makes dumb decisions, it's usually trying to force feed the football to Calvin Johnson. Hey, hello, knock, knock. You have Golden Tate now. You have Eric Ebron. You have other targets. Find somebody else to throw the football to. Don't do that. He does. It's an interception. No points for the Lions on that possession. Stafford then throws another red zone interception. This time, he throws it to a cornerback. And you just say to yourself, or excuse me, he throws it to the other safety. That was to Brock Vereen. This one was to the other safety, Ryan Mundy. And you're saying to yourself, What are you doing, man? No, I mean, seriously, what are you doing? What are you doing? And let's talk about Stafford for a second. I've always had this feeling, but I never voiced my opinion because I felt like it wasn't the right time or place. But now seeing this, I feel like I have enough ammunition to say how I really feel. Matthew Stafford is not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. I don't think you can go where you want to go with him as your leader. He makes too many mistakes. He does too many things that the quarterbacks that win in this league bypass. He does some things that you say, wow, that was impressive, and then he does more things that make you say, why did you do that? What was your rationale? What was your thought process when you made the decision that you just made? Sometimes I feel like he falls into that Jay Cutler syndrome. You know how Jay Cutler has Brandon Marshall as his security blanket, and when all else fails, I'll throw it to B. Marsh. I think he does the same thing with Calvin Johnson. When all else fails, I'll throw it to Megatron. He'll bail me out. He'll find a way to get it done. But, and I get that when you don't have anything else. For years, it was just him and Calvin. I understand. That's not the case anymore. He needs to rewire his brain and use other targets. And I just think that his footwork is bad. I think his mechanics are subpar. And I think and the worst of all, because even with all of those things that I just mentioned, he still has all the tools necessary to get it done. He throws from various slot angles. His footwork doesn't have to be the most flawless thing you've ever seen because he has a strong arm. His problem is up here, decision making. Don't do that. And you got to know better. You got to know when you can and when you can't. And he just doesn't. He just doesn't. And the problem there is he's making too many mistakes. Too many costly mistakes for a team that's looking. We ask this question all the time. With all of the talent on this Lions roster, with all of the talent that the Lions have offensively, why is this team weekly, week in, week out, scoring 17 points? Barely winning football games because the defense is having to hold teams down to 17 and 20 to give this team a chance in the waning moments and in the latter stages of games. Why is it that this team is never in a position to take a knee at the end of the game and win in victory formation because this game is out of hand and they're up 33-17? The defense is doing their part. Why is it that the offense is always lagging behind and barely just doing enough to win? Your answer to that? Matthew Stafford, the guy pulling the strings, the guy with all of the power under the center, to me, is the reason why this team isn't in positions more often to win games comfortably. He's the reason why this team is only scoring 17 points, is only scoring 20 points, is only scoring 14 points, 16 points, barely skating by teams they should be destroying. He's the reason. He's at the controls, and I think he is the reason. But I said all that to say this. Matthew Stafford is good enough to get you to the postseason. He's not good enough to win you a Super Bowl. But I digress. This first half has been dominated by the Lions. You know what the score is right now? It's 7-0. It should be 14-0. It should be 17-0. It should be 21-0. At worst, it should be 13-0. Instead, because of two boneheaded red zone interceptions by Matthew Stafford, it's only 7-0. And here comes the best part. Now Jeremy Ross wants to get involved, and he wants to muff a punt. And so, all of a sudden, what has been a disastrous first half that you still lead in 7-0, he muffs it at the Chicago 11, Bears recover, at the Detroit 11, he muffs the football, and the Bears recover at the 11-yard line. Very next play, beautiful throw by the backup quarterback playing. And I give Jimmy Clausen a hard time because I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, and I never thought he was that good of a quarterback, but this is a hell of a play right here. Backing up, pressure coming, lost it up, perfect timing. As Matt Forte looks up for the football, it's right there. It couldn't have been thrown any better. Feathery, soft touch into his hands. He walks into the end zone. You got a tie ball game. For as good as the Lions have played in this game defensively and offensively, Matthew Stafford has undone all of their good doing, and so has special teams with Jeremy Ross fumbling the football. It's all 7-all, and now we go to the halftime break, and you're asking yourself, why is this game close? Why are we tied at the halftime break? I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask Matthew Stafford. So, you go to the third quarter, and Matt Prater starts the second half off with a field goal that gives the Lions a 10-7 lead. Then the Bears, I give Jimmy Clausen a hard time, but he didn't get any help in this game. Guys didn't step up. Alshon Jeffrey never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. And here's why. He dropped the football a ton in this game. I don't know mentally where he was and why he didn't step up, because normally he's the most sure-handed guy you got. But in this game, he just wasn't there mentally, and I don't know what happened. Has he checked out? I understand this is a tough season. Has he checked out mentally? I don't know. But he dropped the football at least 3 or 4 times in this game. Bears had 7 drops as a team in this game. It's bad enough Jimmy Clausen is at quarterback. He needs your help, okay? He can't win it by himself. And I actually thought he didn't play that bad, okay? But he didn't get any help, so he wasn't able to get it done because his supporting cast didn't step up and give him the support that he needed in this game to help him get it done. But the Bears drop passes, but they are bailed out by the Lions. The Lions special teams has been anemic all season long. It started with the field goal kickers and their struggles there. They went through about 3 of those guys before finally settling in on Matt Prater, who has been pretty solid for them since the middle of the season. But now the special teams, I already talked about Jeremy Ross muffing a punt leading to a touchdown. Now they get a roughing the punter call, and the Bears were punting them the football, and they hit Pat O'Donnell, the punter for the Bears, rough him, give them the football back, and that leads directly to an Alshon Jeffrey never, ever trust a man with 2 first names touchdown. And now it's 14-10. So again, special teams for the Lions rearing its ugly head. Both touchdowns for the Bears can directly be attributed to the Lions special teams. For as bad as the Bears have played offensively, they're leading this game because the Lions special teams doesn't want to make this an easy W for the Lions as a team. Now again, Stafford has done his part as well, but even his mistakes haven't cost the team points to give to the Bears. It's cost the Lions points as a team, but he hasn't directly accounted for any Chicago Bear points. Special teams has taken care of that. It's 14-10 as we head to the third quarter. Lions special teams continues to have a rough go of it. As Prater goes to kick a field goal, he chunks the turf. And what I mean by chunks is he actually takes a chunk out of the turf. He kicks the turf before he kicks the football. Normally, that's a bad omen if you're a field goal kicker. Of course, when he does that, he misses the field goal. It comes out low. The trajectory is all jacked up. It actually gets tipped at the line of scrimmage, hits Jeremiah Ratliff in the bicep, so you know it came out low, never had a shot. And so the Lions special teams continues to be a disaster in this game. Huge pass interference penalty on Tim Jennings leads to a gritty individual effort by Joyke Bell as he gets in the end zone on a touchdown run. Joyke Bell, one of my favorite Detroit Lions football players. The guy is a professional. I say that all the time. He just finds ways to get it done. And on this play, he found a way in the end zone, avoids a tackler, spins off another one, gets into the end zone. And that gave the Lions the lead for good in this game at 17-14. They would later on tack on a field goal. As this game had a lot of nonsense. Dominic Raiola, your center, steps on the Achilles of Ego Ferguson, rookie defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears. Dominic Raiola has since been suspended by the league for that Packers game in Week 17, so you'll be without one of your most experienced and seasoned veterans on your offensive line. He won't be available as he's been suspended. You also had Ezekiel Ansah, earhole Jimmy Clausen. He had to spend a night in the hospital with concussion-like symptoms from that shot he took, and Clausen was not happy about that, so he had to be ruled out for next week's game as well. So just when he thought he was getting an opportunity, he's now out of the season finale and that gives Cutler a chance to play against Minnesota in Week 17. So a lot of things happen. I'm pretty sure Ziggy Ansah will be fined for that hit. And look, you got it done. It wasn't pretty. This was so unimpressive. This gives me no hope for you against Green Bay in Week 17. And honestly, gives me no hope for you because if you don't beat Green Bay, now you got to go on the road. I don't like your chances on the road against, say, a Dallas or even in Atlanta. They had you on the ropes in London. And I think Atlanta's going to win. If Atlanta wins, I think they can beat you. If Carolina wins, Carolina has already beaten you this season. So I really don't like your chances. I don't like the way you're playing football right now. And if your defense doesn't step up, and which they've done all season long, I don't know what more you want the defense to do. But if the offense doesn't step up, and the defense really, I'm going to put it on the defense because I don't trust this offense to get anything done right now. The way Matthew Stafford is playing, the way this offense continues to struggle against mediocre defenses, I don't trust this offense to do anything. So I'm putting the onus on the defense. I need you guys to step up and make some plays because you can't trust this offense to do anything. They're struggling right now. And you're going to have to continue to hold teams to 14 and 17 points on a weekly basis to give yourself a chance in the postseason. And everybody's good in the postseason. Teams score points. No longer will you be playing Minnesota. No longer will you be playing Chicago. No longer will you be playing Tampa Bay. Everybody's good now. There's no more of those teams left. It's just Dallas. You got Arizona. They're going to struggle. But they play defense just like you do. You already played them and lost to them. So I just don't like your chances moving forward. And that is that. For Chicago, you got one game left. I think there will be major changes in Chicago. Tresman will be out. Cutler may be gone. We'll see what happens. This offseason is going to be very interesting for the Chicago Bears. That's going to do it for Bears Lines. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down week number 16 in the National Football League. See you. Bit.